Deep beneath the surface of the boundless and mysterious world ocean lies a world shrouded in darkness and secrecy. Recently, brave explorers and adventurers delved into these uncharted depths, unraveling some of the secrets of the seas. From monstrous sea creatures to signs of extraterrestrial life, these facts make the heart beat faster and palms sweat. In this video, I will tell you about the 15 most frightening things that have been recently discovered underwater. Let's start with this enigmatic and thrilling story about a team of divers who stumbled upon something inexplicable during a planned dive in the Arctic. The divers had a routine mission. They were exploring the Arctic depths in search of any signs of unusual activity. They had been in the water for some time, and everything seemed calm until one of them noticed something strange nearby. At first, the divers thought it was a seal, but as they approached the creature, they realized it was something entirely different. It had pale skin and a body resembling a human, with hands that resembled fins. The creature's eyes were dark and covered with a protective layer, like those of a shark. It gracefully moved through the water, and the divers noticed that it was perfectly comfortable in this environment. But what was it? None of the divers had ever seen anything like it before. When they tried to approach the creature, it suddenly dived deeper and disappeared from sight. The divers were left speechless by what they had witnessed. Obviously, it was something people rarely encounter. Stories of mermaid-like creatures have come from Japan, where locals call them Ningens. It is said that they can reach lengths of 60 to 90 feet or more, with flippers or tails instead of legs like mermaids, and their only discernible facial features are their eyes and mouth. According to a similar report from Japan, the crew members of a ship noticed what they initially mistook for a submarine in the distance, but as they approached, they realized it was a living creature, a Ningen. When these humanoids are spotted, they quickly disappear from view, making it difficult to photograph or film them. Additionally, they can only be encountered at night, adding to their mystique. These enigmatic creatures also blend seamlessly with their surroundings, making them even harder to spot. Now researchers believe that places like the Arctic could harbor a large population of Ningens, as human presence there is infrequent. The discovery of this strange and enigmatic creature has raised new questions about unknown beings lurking in the depths of the ocean, awaiting their discovery by humans. The workers who first noticed this creature were shocked by its size. It measured nearly 50 feet long, making it one of the largest creatures ever discovered in the depths of the ocean. Its spaghetti-like appearance was not the only thing that gave it a creepy look. It seemed to move smoothly and jerkily, as if constantly changing shape. It was later identified as Bathyphysa conifer, a creature that was not easy to study. Firstly, it lived in complete darkness, and even the slightest light could damage its fragile structure. Furthermore, it was incredibly vulnerable. Any sudden movement could cause it to disintegrate into a cloud of zooids, individual colonial organisms. Marine biologists studying this creature were amazed by what they discovered. They determined that it was not just a random aggregation of zooids. This creature turned out to be highly organized and complex, with each zooid playing an important role in its survival. Some served as sensors, detecting the slightest changes in the surrounding water. Others were responsible for hunting and capturing prey, while others were involved in digestion. Despite its otherworldly appearance, there was something undeniably peaceful about this creature. Amidst all its strangeness, it was clear that it had found its place in the world. And fortunately, that place was far away from human eyes. This haunting phenomenon, known as the red tide, may be silent, but its consequences are always deeply felt. It starts with a subtle discoloration of the water, gradually turning it into a dark shade reminiscent of blood. The algae responsible for this dangerous occurrence release toxins that can cause paralysis and even death in marine life, as well as humans. The red tide is a force to be reckoned with, lasting for weeks and wreaking havoc on entire ecosystems. Its repercussions ripple through the food chain as fish and other marine creatures ingest the toxic algae and pass them on to predators like dolphins and sharks. The red tide can even impact human health, causing respiratory issues and other ailments for those who come into contact with it. Yet, perhaps the most chilling aspect of the red tide is its eerie silence. It can wash ashore without warning, and once it settles in, there is little that can be done to stop it. Even the foam that accumulates on the beach can be deadly, corroding the feathers of unsuspecting birds and forcing them to drown in the poisonous water. Despite its deadly nature, the red tide holds a certain allure that draws scientists, artists, and adventurers alike. This natural phenomenon evokes both awe and admiration, even as it leaves destruction in its wake. Mud volcanoes are not ordinary geological formations, they are wonders of nature. It is astonishing that out of the 1,000 mud volcanoes around the world, almost half, about 400, are found in Azerbaijan, often referred to as the Land of Fire. These unique mud volcanoes are capable of producing truly awe-inspiring displays of natural power. When they erupt, the spectacle is breathtaking. Massive columns of fire and flames can shoot into the air for hundreds of feet, creating yet another otherworldly sight that is as beautiful as it is terrifying. But what's even more incredible is that these eruptions are caused by vast reserves of natural gas and oil in the area. This means that there is no end in sight to these explosive shows. And as mesmerizing as they may appear, being near them is probably not the best idea. If you're thinking of a peaceful vacation by the Caspian Sea, you might want to think again. You could find yourself in the midst of a raging mud inferno in an instant. These eruptions can be dangerous and unpredictable, and no one wants to be caught off guard when nature decides to put on a show. The giant statue of Jesus at the bottom of Lake Michigan is not just a beautiful story. It is a true wonder that has captured the imagination of many. Picture this. You descend into the icy waters of the lake, surrounded by nothing but darkness. And suddenly, you notice a flickering light in the distance. As you swim closer, you realize it's a massive 10-foot white marble cross. And then you see him, Jesus, life-sized, lying on the cross as if in eternal slumber. The story of how this statue ended up at the bottom of Lake Michigan is even more captivating. The family who commissioned the statue experienced a devastating tragedy, losing their young son in a horrific accident. They ordered the statue to honor his memory, but as the statue was being transported to the United States, it was damaged beyond recognition. Most people would have given up at that point, but not the team of divers who saw the potential in the statue. They recognized the significance of the statue and realized it would be a beautiful memorial for divers who lost their lives exploring the waters of Lake Michigan. So they purchased the statue and submerged it into the depths of the lake, where it has remained ever since. Swimming around the statue, it is impossible not to feel a sense of reverence and awe. It has become not just a memorial but a symbol of hope, faith, and resilience. With their delicate frills and feather-like appearance, the zombie worm may initially seem otherworldly. Such a creature is more likely to be found in a magical, enchanted forest than in the depths of the ocean. However, do not be deceived by its graceful exterior, for the zombie worm is part of a true horror story. Feeding on the solid bones of anything that crosses its path, including giant whale carcasses, the zombie worm uses its sharp, serrated teeth to break through the outer layer of the bone. But it doesn't stop there. This tiny creature is determined to access the valuable nutrients within, so it secretes a powerful acid that helps dissolve the bone and reach the nutrient-rich contents inside. Once the zombie worm breaches the bone's defenses, it gets to work, transforming the bone proteins into fat and nutrients that become its sustenance. It's a gruesome process, one that only the most resilient organisms can handle, yet this creature has it all figured out. With tiny feather-like appendages swaying in the water, The zombie worm absorbs oxygen to sustain its life. It's a delicate balancing act, requiring just the right amount of oxygen to maintain its vital functions. But despite its terrifying appearance and voracious feeding habits, the truth is that the zombie worm has no interest in us. The females grow to a mere 2 inches in length, and the males are even smaller, microscopic in size. So, unless you're a whalebone, you have nothing to fear. New Jersey is famous for many things: iconic diners, Atlantic City, and being the birthplace of Frank Sinatra. But it also harbors a creepy locomotive graveyard deep beneath the sea. So let's dive in. In 1985, 2 trains were discovered at the bottom of the Long Branch Ocean, but the mystery doesn't end there. The models of these trains indicated that they belonged to the 1850s, and there were no records of them ever being built or reported missing. They seemed to have vanished from the face of the earth, only to be found underwater centuries later. The locomotive graveyard has fascinated scientists and historians for several decades, giving rise to numerous theories about how the trains ended up on the ocean floor. Some speculate that the trains were being transported on a barge that capsized during a storm, while others believe they were intentionally dumped into the ocean to avoid flooding the barge. However, the most chilling theory suggests that the trains were deliberately thrown into the sea to dispose of evidence related to a crime. This theory has captured the imagination of many, fueling rumors of hidden treasures and long-forgotten misdeeds. Here's the catch. Despite lying underwater for over 160 years, these locomotives have been remarkably well preserved. They are covered in rust, but their structural details are still clearly discernible, attesting to the ocean's ability to preserve even the most ancient artifacts. The locomotive graveyard remains an enigma to this day, with no definitive answers as to how and why these trains ended up at the bottom of the ocean. In Louisiana, a massive and mysterious sinkhole emerged, creating chaos in its wake. Due to its size and scale, it was dubbed the Louisiana Big Canyon. This monstrous chasm engulfed everything in its path, including an entire forest. The video footage of this karst sinkhole went viral, and it's easy to understand why. The incredible force of nature is evident as 40-foot cypress trees disappear within seconds. The magnitude of the disaster evokes both awe and horror. According to reports, this sinkhole formed as a result of a collapse in a salt mine, leading to an environmental catastrophe in the area, forcing an entire town to evacuate their homes. The karst sinkhole caused approximately $12 million in damages and continues to wreak havoc on the surrounding area. Local residents claim that it all began with a distinct smell of diesel fuel, followed by the emergence of a mysterious gas from the marsh. Since then, the sinkhole has been steadily growing, consuming everything in its path, including these towering trees. What's even worse, rumors circulate that officials don't even know the exact depth of the sinkhole. In fact, a measuring line of 750 feet was not enough to reach the bottom of this ominous void. The mere thought of the unknown depths of this sinkhole is chilling. The consequences of this sinkhole can only be described as catastrophic, and the residents of the Bayou Corn area have experienced its devastating impact firsthand. Deep within the vast expanse of the East China Sea lies an ancient underwater city intentionally flooded by the Chinese government. It stands as a remarkable reminder of a magnificent civilization that thrived over 1,300 years ago. The city rests at depths ranging from 80 to 160 feet below the sea's surface, covering an area of nearly 40 square miles. Despite being submerged for centuries, its stunning architecture and intricate carvings have been remarkably preserved. The walls are adorned with intricate carvings depicting dragons, phoenixes, and other mythical creatures, while proud stone guardian lions stand before many buildings, their stone bodies retaining their power even after a long period underwater. Through the efforts of a tourism official, this sunken city has become a popular destination for adventurous travelers. The Beijing Diving Club was invited to explore the underwater streets of the city, and it quickly became a sought-after spot for scuba diving enthusiasts seeking a glimpse into ancient China. The city offers abundant opportunities for divers to immerse themselves in its history. Additionally, a special underwater submarine was constructed specifically for tourists to embark on guided tours of this underwater metropolis. This ancient city is a true marvel of history and a testament to the incredible achievements of ancient China. In 2018, an astonishing discovery was made that forever changed the course of history. Archaeologists stumbled upon the world's oldest sunken ship in the Black Sea near the coast of Bulgaria. It is believed to be a Greek merchant vessel dating back 2,400 years, making it the oldest ship ever found. What's even more remarkable is that the ship has been completely preserved, making it the most intact and well-preserved sunken ship in the world. The length of the vessel measures 75 feet, and due to the lack of oxygen at the depth where it was discovered, the rowing benches, mast, rudders, and other elements have remained completely intact. For researchers, this was a dream come true. The level of preservation is unparalleled, allowing them to study the boat and its contents in more detail than ever before. They were amazed to find that the ship closely resembled vessels depicted on ancient Greek wine vases, leading them to believe that it was a vessel from an entirely new world. The discovery of the sunken ship is not just an opportunity to study history, it is a window into an ancient world. The ship is so well preserved that it feels like a time machine, transporting us back to the era of ancient Greece. The ocean is a vast and harsh desert that has claimed countless lives throughout human history. For every ship that safely reaches its destination, there are countless others lost at sea, becoming ghosts of a forgotten past, condemned to wander the seas eternally. Their shattered remains are scattered on the ocean floor like the bones of an ancient leviathan. Some of these ships can still be recognized, reminiscent of their former glory. Others have been mangled by relentless currents, their true forms lost in the depths. Yet, some of these lost ships refuse to remain silent. They become ghost ships, haunting the waters they once sailed upon. But the most eerie of all are the ghost ships of North Korea. These ships have become symbols of desperation and isolation that have gripped this reclusive nation. North Korean fishermen, venturing out to sea in search of food and prosperity, are often ill-equipped and unprepared for the perils of the ocean. As a result, many of these vessels vanish without a trace, leaving behind nothing but an ethereal mystery. Some believe that these ghost ships are a result of the harsh control the North Korean regime exerts over its people. With limited access to food and resources, fishermen are forced to venture farther and farther into the sea in search of sustenance. But without means of communication or rescue, they are left adrift and helpless. Their fate remains unknown. For those seeking adventure and thrills, ghost ships are an enticing enigma. But for those who have lost loved ones at sea, they serve as a constant reminder of the dangers lurking in the depths of the ocean. When we think of underwater creatures, we usually imagine colorful and fascinating marine inhabitants. But what if I tell you that in the depths of the ocean, there is a creature that seems to have emerged straight out of a horror movie? I'm talking about giant isopods. With their armored exoskeletons and pincers, they appear capable of destroying a small submarine. And if their size of up to 30 inches doesn't scare you, their diet certainly will. Giant isopods are scavengers. They feed on decaying carcasses of dead whales, squids, and fish. If you happen to come across a group of giant isopods during an ocean exploration, you might be frightened. These eerie creatures have the ability to blend in with the sandy seafloor by curling up into a ball. However, despite their intimidating appearance and voracious appetite, giant isopods are completely harmless to humans. So there's no need to panic if you accidentally encounter one. Nevertheless, the mere thought of these giant creatures lurking beneath the surface is enough to make you think twice about diving into the water. This is the creature that will send shivers down your spine upon a close encounter. If extraterrestrials exist, they might look something like this. It's the flatworm, but don't be fooled by its name. This is no ordinary worm. It's a fierce predator capable of devouring prey much larger than itself. It may appear as a small blob, but its abilities should not be underestimated. What's most intriguing about this creature is that it lacks respiratory and circulatory organs. Instead, it utilizes diffusion to take in oxygen. Its flat shape allows oxygen and nutrients to pass through its body, sustaining its life functions. Some species of flatworms possess the remarkable ability to regenerate their entire bodies if split in half. Just imagine, this flat marine worm was caught during low tide while feasting on a crab. It possesses a digestive tract that resembles a branched gut, allowing nutrients from its prey to circulate throughout its body. It's precisely this adaptation that makes it such a fierce predator and a creature to be feared by humans. Now, imagine if this creature were large enough to attack a human. The mere thought of encountering such a creature while swimming in the ocean is enough to make you never want to get near the water again. Are you ready to dive into the dark depths of the Baltic Sea? If so, let's begin. In 2014, an object resembling a UFO was discovered here, sparking numerous speculations and debates. Could it be possible that extraterrestrials have already visited us? If so, how did their flying saucer end up in the deep waters of the Baltic Sea? However, despite the excitement surrounding this discovery, scientists and researchers concluded that the object is not a UFO. But what is it then? According to experts, it is simply a disc-shaped fragment of rock. The origin of this enigmatic boulder remains a mystery. Some believe it could be a meteorite. But even if this object is not of extraterrestrial origin, the fact remains. The depths of the Baltic Sea hold countless secrets and unsolved mysteries. Who knows what other mysterious phenomena or undiscovered life forms may be hiding in the dark depths of the ocean? The incident at Foss Lake plunged the entire town into shock and bewilderment. It seemed like the past had come back to haunt the residents in the most unsettling way. The discovery of rusty vintage cars at the bottom of the lake was only the beginning of the horrors that followed. In the first car pulled from the water, the decomposed bodies of 3 teenagers were found. They were huddled together on the back seat, as if seeking solace in each other's company. The second car, just a few feet away, contained the bodies of 3 passengers. They were found in the front seat of the car, frozen in poses as if trying to escape from something. The teenagers had vanished without a trace in 1970, leaving their families and friends in utter despair. Until the moment the car was discovered, no one knew what had happened to them. The passengers of the second car had gone missing a year earlier in 1969. Their families had held on to hope of finding them, but all prayers had been in vain. Medical examinations confirmed that death was due to drowning and was recorded as accidental, but the circumstances surrounding the incident were too horrifying to ignore. The fact that both cars were found in the same location, despite disappearing in different years, was an eerie coincidence. Many townspeople grew fearful of the lake, and it quickly transformed into a place of horror and dread. That concludes everything for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your engagement is the best reward for me. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Goodbye.